Hey, Brandon here, host of the Devy Deep Dive podcast and creator of the Devy Dashboard. Welcome to my channel and thanks for tuning in. Super excited about this rookie profile film. Today we're going to take a look at Western Michigan wide receiver Skyy Moore. All right, so if this is your first time viewing one of my breakdowns here, welcome. If it's one of your many that you've seen already on this channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, that notification button. I'm going to be dropping a ton of these as we head into the draft. You can follow me on Twitter at Devy Deep Dive, and of course, if you want information on the Devy Dashboard, which is the ultimate Devy and C2C resource getting ready for your upcoming Devy leagues, hit me up on the email below. It's in the show notes. And of course, please leave a comment, regarding this film. I love interacting with everybody with your thought process. I make these for you guys as well as myself. You're not going to find a more detailed film breakdown of Skyy Moore on YouTube anywhere. I can assure you that. So stick around and take a look. It's a really good film breakdown. All right. So why did I want to do Skyy Moore? All right. So, Skyy Moore basically kind of surprised everybody with declaring for the draft as a junior. And as soon as he declared, he was showing up on a lot of top 10 lists, wide receiver eligible draft wide receivers. And given his size and everything, I had to take a look, especially coming from the MAC conference where he plays. Okay. So, I was excited to kind of dig in and see what we had. Now, look, he was very productive early on in his career. Let's take a look at his production stats right here. So he's 5'10", 195 pounds. He was a three-star prospect. All right, he is a junior. He'll be age 22 at draft time. As you can see here from his production stats, from 2019, he came right out of the gate with 802 yards, 3 TDs. 2020 is kind of anomaly, as we know, because it was the COVID year. But nonetheless, again, productive, same average, over 15 yards, on per reception. So he is an explosive down the field player. But 2021, he really shined with 95 receptions, 1,292 yards, as well as 10 touchdowns, averaging. It took a little bit of a dip at 13, but nonetheless, super productive, player here. So his market share, this is his 2021 market share that we're taking a look at. 39% receiving yards, target share 40%. I mean, that's from looking at a lot of these guys that I've been looking at. He is a monster when it came to the market share of his team. He was the guy that they primarily leaned on in the passing game. Offensive yards, 21%, and touchdowns, 18.5%. So from a market share standpoint, Skyy Moore brings it to the table. His PFF career stats, these are career stats nonetheless. Completion percentage, 68%. Super solid. The only knock on that is when you look at the depth of the targets, his basically catch rate was just over 40 with passes over 20 yards. So he's a yak kind of guy. He caught a lot of his balls that we're going to see here on his film in the short and intermediate areas of the field and then took it down. He's a good yak guy, in the field. But nonetheless, guy's got some good hands. We're going to see that on his film as well. Average depth of target, 11.0, 11.4, great number again. He's getting just past 10 yards. That's his average depth. Yak per reception is 6.4, pretty solid. Not elite in this class. I'm going to say it's about middle of the road with the receivers that are headed to the NFL draft. And the snaps here, versatile player. He's played 63% out wide, and he played 37% in the slot. I really see him more as a slot option in the NFL. From an analytical profile, again, good numbers. Career dominator, 41%. Career weighted dominator, a little more leaning towards yardage, 39%. And his yards per team pass attempt, his average through 3 years is 2.63, all very solid numbers. So from an analytical standpoint, he definitely has, the analytical profile that the numbers guys are looking for. Projected 40 time, 4.39. And we'll have to see. I mean, the combine is going to be really interesting for him because, his game is going to be predicated on speed. He's going to need to bring that speed to the table, I believe, to be successful in the NFL. So his height adjusted speed scored 99.25, excellent numbers. Again, the kid's got some speed. His BMI is 28.79. So yeah, he's only 5'10", but he's a little beefy at 195 pounds. So he's got a little meat on his bones. So that's certainly a good thing given his size. He's got a little mass to him. So his strengths and weaknesses, we're going to see here on the film. He's got some sticky hands. His ball skills are probably, I think, his best trait. He's got speed, not elite speed, but I think he's going to have some decent speed, like I just mentioned before, in the 4.3s. I've seen 4.4 on the internet too, so I'm not really 100% sure, but the combine will certainly be a number that we're going to be waiting to see. And he played cornerback, so I really value that when I look at wide receivers. receivers when they've played cornerback in high school as college as well, because they can, it's all about defensive manipulation. If you've seen these videos of mine, I'm all about that. So if he's got the tendency and knows how to work guys off platform, then good for him. His weakness is his release package. We're going to take a look at that here real quick. He kind of has the same route. He kind of has the same stutter step and release package. So I think he's going to have to expand on that a little bit. Competition, again, that's a big thing. I mean, the competition, he was successful. He's got the production. He's got the analytical numbers that we just looked at. But that competition too, he's not going up against the elite, talent. And he's going to be limited to the slot. I mean, that is going to be his role. He's not going to be a boundary wide receiver, I believe, in the NFL. He is going to be pretty much relegated to the slot. But we've seen on our dynasty rosters, there's been plenty of players out there that have, made their living in the slot. So, all right, man, let's get to the film room. We're going to be joined again by one of my favorite Devy analysts, Corey Piera. So let's see what this kid looks like on the field. All right, man. Welcome to the film room. And again, we have Corey Piera, a dashboard contributor, joining us in the film room. One of my favorite guys in the Devy space. Love grinding film with Corey. Corey, how are you today?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to look at some of these prospects. We're looking at Skyy Moore today, and he's in a lot of people's top 10 right now. So I'm interested to take a look here.
Yeah, me too. I'm super excited because as we talked before we went on recording, I mean, no one talked about this kid at all before Christmas. Then he declares, and then all of a sudden he's in everyone's top 10. So you and I were going back and forth and said, hey, let's get him, into the film room. Let's dig into his tape. So let's just get started. All right. So the first thing we know, the routine here on these film grind shows, we're going to take a look at his release and route running. So got lots of clips here to go through. So sit back and enjoy. We're going to just take a look, see what his release is, and what his defensive manipulation looks like, everything that we've talked about in some of these other shows. So what are you seeing preliminarily here, Corey?
I do think he's got a quick first step, and he likes to do that little chug of his feet when he's breaking his route in the slants. A lot of these routes you're going to see are slants from the slot. It's primarily what he was doing a lot of the time, but he does gain separation pretty quickly. We're not seeing a variety of moves from him when he's doing stuff, I noticed a lot of the time, but yeah, I do find he has quick feet. He's kind of a quick twitch athlete.
Yeah, he definitely does. You can see, he shuffles his feet pretty well, trying to shake and bake either inside or outside.
This one was really nice too. Yeah, he got the DB to just broke his ankles there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so definitely a thing. Yeah. So like Corey said, we're going to see a lot of the same route technique here as far as his stutter step inside move. So we were talking pre-show a little bit too, just his limited, I think, moves at the line of scrimmage is something we're a little bit concerned about. A little bit more defensive manipulation with some head fakes and some shoulder fakes and stuff would be nice. He seems to approach his defender with the shake and bake and then go inside and outside. So again, that's nothing special about that cut right there, but nonetheless, I mean, the defensive back was giving him some space there. But I think I would have liked on this particular play, again, defensive manipulation is something I really look for in wide receivers. So again, I try and look for the techniques, the nuances at the top of the stem. And like for this one, I just didn't see it. Yes, he creates separation. He didn't have a lot of press on that particular play, but I would have liked to have seen him, try and get that defensive end to go, off platform, go inside leverage, and then make his break. So I thought that this route wasn't great. Did you see the same thing?
I did, and this was the one route in the entire tape in this section at least, that he didn't run a slant, right? So is he limited running other routes? Is the slant just his bread and butter? He just kind of runs that route straight forward. So
right. So, and again, you play with the big boys in the NFL, man. You have to manipulate defenders some way and somehow, right? So again, here's just a little out route. I thought again, like here, he creates the space. The guy gives him outside leverage. You can see the DB is giving him the outside. He easily takes it. I would have liked to have seen a quicker break out of the top of that stem, but nonetheless, he makes the play.
Yeah, and he's able to get a few more yards there. And again, it's that stutter step move he always does. I wish that he had something a little more in his repertoire, a little bit of speed variance in his routes. It's all one speed. He just runs straight at the guy, stutter step, breaks his route. And that's like what you see constantly on this tape.
Right. So, I mean, this is the route that I think everyone's excited about on Twitter, right? This is the clip I wanted to add. All right. So of all the Skyy Moore film, tweets out there on Twitter and so on and so forth, this is what I think everyone got excited. Yeah. He's got the dead leg. Now he he manipulated the defender on this, right? He got him to go outside right there, right? And that's a good route. Now he gets him to turn his hips, and then he goes on the inside, and he's got 5-6 yards of separation. So overall, I think his route running is very raw. And playing in his competition level, I do have slight concerns of how that translate if he can't really do other things, getting off the line of scrimmage. You have any final thoughts on his route running?
No, I agree with you. I think it's raw. He's really good at running his slants right now, but he's got a lot of work to do in the other routes right now, I think.
Right. All right. So speed and yak, I think, is the next section here. Is it the next section? I believe it is. Why aren't you going? Go ahead and hit play. All right. Oh, ball skills and hands. All right. All right. So we're going to look at his ball skills and hands. This is where I think he's got some real good talent and of all of the traits, because we're going to look at speed and yak next. But I think this kid's got some sticky hands. I think he's got some really good body control. So I think this is an A part of his game. You can see he really, comes down, makes some nice adjustments. I mean, he's got traffic in front of him. He's, looking through the trash and, again, makes the play. I mean, that's a hell of a grab right there.
Yeah, and great concentration. He's able to locate the ball through all that traffic right there, dive at the right time, grab the ball outside. It's one of his better traits for sure.
Right. So here he's at the top of the screen. Again, we're looking, we can look at his route running too to see if we see anything different, but there's like a go route, a 9 route. And, it doesn't really create a lot of separation, but again, the ability to, catch this ball and the ball tracking ability, I think, he got knocked over there. He's off platform. That's some really serious athleticism. And the catch like that, that is just, you can't do it any better than that. That is an A+ reception right there.
No, and it's not necessarily in the ball skills, but on some of these vertical routes, we were seeing the DBs just in his hip pocket, considering like the route running from before. He's not gaining a lot of separation during the stem of his routes on these vertical routes.
Right. So right here you got, right. He has this guy off platform a little bit. He should be able to dust this guy at this point. See how he's getting closer and closer. He should be able to dust that guy, and that DB recovers pretty well. No, I guess that was zone coverage. That was a safety coming in the backside, but he kind of probably, got past him there. But again, let's look at the catch at the end. The adjustment, the ball tracking, didn't really extend his arms great, maybe kind of caught it close to his body, but nonetheless, you got to give him an A+ effort for that, man. That's some good shit right there.
That was my one note I had, was that I would have liked to see him attack the ball a little bit more, get up in the air, stretch those arms out and attack. He lets it come into him a little bit more every once in a while. But I think you do have one clip here where he really does it. I think it might be this one. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So again, we're looking for separation here. Get some good separation.
This one, exactly.
Yeah. So that's the ball skills that, he can bring to, and listen, given his size at 5'10", 190 or 189 or whatever he is, he's not going to be a contested catch guy, but nonetheless, you love to see the athleticism. You love to see just his ball skills up here and his ball tracking, body control. Again, that's some good stuff right there.
Turns around, nice adjustment on the catch. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what you want to see most of the time.
So these are just, again, just some good, what does his body control look like? He's got to torque his body here again, make a nice adjustment, comes down, I like how he kind of regains his footing a little bit. I think he would have had some more yak yards there if he didn't fall on top of the guy.
Yeah, but, the quarterback didn't really give him great balls all the time either. It had to adjust, or it was behind him or something. Like, this was a nice catch here too.
Right.
Really good NFL catch here too, I think. 2 feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 2 feet. Yeah. Yeah. Let's just go back and look at the route though. Let's just again, what's he doing to this defender? Doesn't do much, just kind of pushes him off again. I think there's an ability to, get this DB to go inside leverage and turn a little bit. He's given him the outside, but I think he could have done more than instead of just pushing off and running outside as far as, that route isn't going to work in the NFL at all, but nonetheless, his ball skill hands are, really good. There's a really good one coming up here shortly. I think this might be the one. This is the one. This is really good. He's at the top right here. He's kind of out of the screen, but it's going to show up here again. He makes this grab sideline, but again, just look at the kid's got some hands, the concentration. Look at the 2 feet.
This was a great one.
2 feet in, boom.
Yeah. And the defense was celebrating like he didn't catch that one.
Yeah, but I think he did for sure. Yeah. So I think his ball skills and hands are one of his better traits.
Right. I agree.
All right, let's take his speed and yak yards. Now, my thought process on Skyy Moore right now is that given his size, he needs to have above average speed for him to, I believe, to really translate to the NFL, right? So if he's a raw route runner, and I want to be able to see some good yak ability for his size, some quickness, some suddenness in his game, and then we're going to take a look at kind of some long speed stuff here. But I don't think he's a great yak runner, but I think he's got some ability.
No, and I agree. I found a lot of the time he's just kind of heading to the outside. That's
Mm-hmm.
his initial instinct, is to try to get the sideline and run. You don't see him juking a lot of guys or being super elusive with the ball. I do think he's more quick than fast, but
Mm-hmm.
I just wish he used it a little bit more.
Yeah. So again, here, just I'd like to see him be able to,
Cut inside that guy. Yeah,
cut
those two
inside again. The
defenders.
vision, the vision. I think he could have, had a little bit more vision, but nonetheless, um, again, just looking at his speed, what's he do with the ball in his hands? Again, here's what you're talking about. Great, another great catch, some separation here
Yeah, that one
on
could
this
have been in ball
particular route.
skills, really.
Yeah, that could have been in ball skills.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Um,
bad coverage by a DB too. He's pressing him. He
yeah,
doesn't even get his hands on him. Like, he just lets
right.
him go. I mean,
So this was an interesting. I really wanted to take a look at this one in full thing, right? Because there's a lot to break down in this
yeah.
particular in this one. Okay. So he does create separation here at the end, but the DB just kind of lost balance or whatever. But going back, right? What is he doing from a defensive manipulation? I know it's like a word you're probably tired of hearing me say, but again, there's the shovel, but again, no lateral movement, and
No.
he breaks he sheds the contact, but he just doesn't break away to really
Yeah.
create any separation, which is, I don't know, it's just a little bit of concern for me. What are your
It,
thoughts on that?
It's the same moves all the time too, and I'd like to see some variance. I mean, if you could sell that you were gonna hop inside, or I mean, some speed variance. I mean, if you're gonna sell that you were gonna hop inside, hesitate a little bit, make the guy bite down low and go. I mean,
Right.
the DB's
Right.
able to stay in his hip pocket the entire time because of that. And you'll notice that on a lot of the vertical routes, he's not gaining a lot of separation downfield, besides the one clip that you did have there a while ago. But
Right. So again, here's just some yak. Like I wish he had the ability to this is the kind, like in the NFL, right? If he's playing and this is the route, like he needs to take this to the house, right?
yeah,
And I'm concerned about that acceleration out of the break. I'm concerned about him being able to just take that to the house on that particular play.
yeah, and I think that you've got a few more clips here too, but he's constantly the defenders are constantly closing in on him when he's running away.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
Again,
one,
I'm
I think
expecting this to be
a touchdown, right? Yeah.
Yeah, again, to make it in the NFL, I mean, he's got to bring that speed to the table, and I'm just concerned if he runs in the 4.5s, it's not going to translate. That's just
Yeah.
so. Here's
I
just
think there is. I was just gonna say, I think there is some thresholds out there that I remember looking at, that if you're like under 5'10", you better be like a 4.45 athlete to make it, or the history is not kind to you.
Right. There's another one that he just didn't like break away. See what we got on this particular play. Little stutter step. Again, he just doesn't create this, bad pad, a little overthrown. But again, we're looking at, this is a corner route, or 9 route, or whatever you want to call it, a deep run. He just doesn't
Yeah.
beat the defender, and that's just a concern that he
And
just didn't blow by that.
the defender's got his back turned behind him right away too. You'd consider him to be able to gain separation there, but
Right, like you said before, with a bite move or something, like a stutter step,
yeah,
like a double move, or something to create space. Right, that's the name of the game. You got to create space as a wide receiver. So I thought this was a nice run. This is the last
yeah.
one of this clip. Like this shake and bake here, nice cut.
One of the few ones he
make the
cut
guy.
back inside, I noticed too.
That's right. Yeah, I didn't really think about that until you brought it up, Corey. So, all right. So I like to just look at, me, Corey. I like physicality and athleticism. Especially physicality, especially with these smaller wide receivers. That's why I thought Jalen Waddle was so good. I mean, because he's got the same size as this kid, but Jalen Waddle was just an incredibly physical athlete for his size. And that's what I'm looking for, especially with these smaller receivers. Where are you shedding tackles? Are you making guys miss? Or, how do you, like, for this particular play, right? You got to kind of look at, at the point of contact, what is the pad leverage? I mean, are you going into it, or are you giving the hit, or are you embracing for the hit? Right. I want to look for guys that are putting licks on people. And that's what Jalen Waddle did so well, is that, he just, again, I'm looking on this particular play. Is he going to able to have the strength to shed the contact, to break that kind of stuff, keep his balance?
Yeah. And
So it's
he
just
does do a decent job of keeping his balance when he's tripped up at the feet, ankle tackles, leg tackles, or whatever. When someone isn't able to wrap him up, he does keep his balance pretty good. I'm
yep,
also gonna say that he doesn't he's not afraid to take a hit. You don't see
yep,
him shy away very much. Like even right here, he catches that fearlessly. He's got 3 defenders around him, and he's able to even break the contact right
yeah.
after. Like, so
This,
even
this
for a
is a
small guy.
yeah, this is a great play.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this is what you want to see on all the plays, right? I mean, this is we saw this throughout his entire tape. The toughness, the grind.
Yeah.
That's he's gonna need to be able to do that. Play strength in the NFL, especially as a wide receiver. I think there's 2 reasons I always say that receivers don't make it in the NFL. It's either they can't create space in practice, or they have difficulty with the physicality of the game, playing with the elite athletes of the world, right?
Yeah.
So again, showing just being able to shed contact. I thought he did a nice job making that first guy miss, which I
Yeah.
liked.
Again,
Keeping his balance.
a tackle below the legs. He's able to kind of get away from those ones. Once he gets wrapped
Hmm.
up, though, he is kind of wrapped up.
Yeah,
He doesn't break
he's
many
not.
tackles after that.
That's right. So this was a good play. I
This
liked how
was
he
a good
kept his
one, yeah.
balance. Yeah. So this is what he's going to need to show on the field, right? He's got to be able to just shed, being a smaller guy. He's got to be able to do that on a regular basis. So,
Yeah.
all right, man, there it is. I mean, there is the film grind on Skyy Moore. So I'll be talking about it once we get out of the film room, Corey. But why don't you give me your overall thought on Skyy Moore, and where do you have him ranked on the Devy dashboard?
I still got to clean them up a little bit, but I think I had him somewhere around wide receiver 14 or 15. So I'm a little bit lower than consensus right now. Like we saw in the film, I see a little bit of a raw route runner. I see a guy whose bread and butter is the slant route. I see a guy who's quicker than fast. Maybe he's not getting a lot of separation on those deep routes. So combine the speed with the size. I am a little bit worried about his translation to the next level. Maybe somebody like a Jamison Crowder type, someone who can maybe get in the slot and be a PPR asset. But I mean, I'm not overly enthusiastic about his NFL prospects, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. So, all right, Corey, listen, man, always appreciate you jumping in the film room, dude. You were like one of my faves, you know that. And we'll be doing this many, many more times. So thanks for coming on the film room today. All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that detailed film breakdown on Skyy Moore. Hopefully, it gave you a better understanding of his overall game as you prepare for your rookie drafts. That's what the purpose of this video is, to help you guys out in that way. All right, let's take a look at his draft capital. All right, so right now he is looking like a late day 2, early day 3 on NFL mockdraftdatabase.com. He's being taken on average 120, which is just inside the 4th round. Beginning of day 3, that's probably where I think he will most likely get drafted. He might sneak into day 2, but I'm not sure. As far as a dynasty projection, I mean, I think he's going to be a slot receiver for an NFL team. I think he's going to be a wide receiver 3 or 4 on a team. I just don't see him coming out and having a kind of like a Mooney kind of breakout year or anything like that, the player from Chicago. I think he's going to settle in. He's going to get on a roster. He's going to have to work his way into getting on the field over time. So I don't think he's going to make a direct impact on our rosters next year, but he's going to be more of a stash piece for me in our later rookie rounds as far as, again, where landing spot is, and see where he is going to land and what his opportunity is going to be. So from a pro comp, there's not a lot of receivers that are 5'10" that are in the top tier wide receiver group. I got a list here for you guys of guys that are at the top of the game at 5'10". May have missed 1 or 2, but here's my list. I got Deontay Johnson, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Hunter Renfrow, Brandon Cooks. Those guys are all 5'10", and what they all bring to the table is either 1 or 2 things. They're either bringing elite speed, right? And they're going to be bringing space creation and route running, right? So, I think here, for Moore to be successful and for him to get on our dynasty rosters, to be a consistent dynasty asset for us and to be a producer on a weekly basis, he is going to have to really be able to create space. I hope that speed comes in at the combine, because he's going to need to be able to dust people after he gets the ball in his hands. to really make an impact. He's going to be best suited for an open spread kind of offense where he's not going to face a lot of press, where teams can use him and get him, out in space. Remember Dwayne Eskridge last year, Tutu Atwell. They were both round 2 picks last year. We've yet to see them on the field. And I think basically Skyy Moore is probably in reality going to follow in those footsteps. So I think he's going to be probably a round 3, 4, pick in our rookie drafts. He's going to be a flyer nonetheless. But that's the show, man. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. You got to see a little bit of his productive stats, and I'm excited to see him at the combine. Let's see what his speed is, and let's see where he lands in the NFL draft. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe, hit that notification. I've got tons and tons of these films coming out, and then I've got so much Devy content on the way getting you ready for fall ball. It's going to blow your mind. So thanks for watching.